What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P. We back at it. Motor City Cats. Came to give you stats, not static, whatever you do. Make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. Listen, the news is the news. And I just gotta say,
that does not make sense.
Okay? It just doesn't. We signed Marcus Davenport to a 1-year deal, which is worth up to $4.75 million. And I guess the other thing that we have to say is,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
okay, look, man, I've been on record. I've said it many times before, and I'll keep saying it. Big believer in Marcus Davenport's ability. Not a believer in Marcus Davenport's ability to stay healthy and on the field and available for this Detroit Lions football team. Now, I don't know the breakdown of the contract, but I would assume, I would be remiss if I did not assume that the $4.75 million is heavily incentivized based on his ability to get and stay on the field. We gonna give you $500,000 guaranteed, bruh. The rest of that $4.75 million is contingent upon you playing not more than 2 games, because he didn't play 2 games, not 2 full games for the Detroit Lions last year. Remember, he went out in the first game of the season late in the game with some sort of groin injury, missed the second game of the season, comes back in the third game of the season, gets injured. Right? So he didn't play 2 full games for the Detroit Lions out of a possible 17. So I'm pretty sure that Brad Holmes sat him down and said, look, you know what it is, player. You know what it is. You're not getting this money unless you plan. And to Brad Holmes for that, I say kudos. Am I excited about this news? No. Am I happy about this news? No. I guess I would be indifferent, because if I get upset about it, it doesn't really do anything. Right? It's Marcus Davenport will work himself out. If he plays, great. If he doesn't play, that's what's expected. I mean, if we looked at the track record and we looked at Emmanuel Mosley, we saw what happened with him last year. We probably saw this coming. We knew this was coming. Right now, Marcus Davenport is a body. He's not a camp body. You know why? Because he won't train in camp. Right? Now, if he does train in camp and if he is healthy enough and he's not getting a bunch of off-season surgeries that he has to nurse, that would be fantastic news. Does Marcus Davenport deserve another shot? Yes. Did he do something wrong? No, he did not. But it just gets a little bit repetitive, and we can take, it's a fork in the road moment right now. So you have to go with Brad Holmes. You're either annoyed at the fact that these injured players continue to get, second chances and third chances and fourth and fifth chances on this roster, or you can just be like, man, it is what it is, whatever, who cares? So I'm going to take the approach of it is what it is, whatever, who cares? Just as long as, and Brad's not a dummy, just as long as this is a depth piece, this is not something that you are counting on. With the contract, like I said, I haven't seen the structure of the contract, but I'm pretty sure all of the incentives are based on playtime. So Brad Holmes isn't dumb. He knows that this man has an extensive injury history, which is why I wasn't excited about him being signed here last year. So something else is coming down the pike. But obviously, we had to talk about it because, hey, it was breaking Lions news, and they signed someone who, again, I've said if you have him in a rotation, and I talked the same thing about Joey Bosa. I said if you had Joey Bosa, Marcus Davenport, and Z in a rotation, Big Z is going to play the majority of the snaps opposite Hutch. You give Marcus Davenport 3 snaps a game. You give Joey Bosa 5 snaps a game. It would be a stretch if you said, all right, just increase that by a number so we can clear 10 snaps. You give Joey Bosa 6. You give Marcus Davenport 4. But that's what happens. That's what happens when you have injured players. You have to make moves like that. Now, I would much rather go into a season and have Zadarius Smith on the other side of Hutch. And this is before we know any other free agent signings or any draft picks or anything. I would much rather go into a season with Zadarius Smith on the other side of Hutch, backed up by Joey Bosa and Marcus Davenport, than I would going into a season with Big Z on the other side of Hutch, backed up by Mitchell Agood, El Quadin Muhammad, and insert, practice squad guy here. Josh Pascal, whatever. I do like El Quadin Muhammad, and I've said this before, that he improved exponentially from the time that he got here until the end of the season. He improved every week that he played, and that's fine. And El Quadin Muhammad is a fine player, and you want him back for depth, right? You want to re-sign him for depth. But if you had the opportunity to get someone else like a Joey Bosa, and now like Marcus Davenport, you go ahead and do that to strengthen your depth, even though your depth may not last. Right? We hope we don't get hit by the injury bug, because if we do get hit by the injury bug like we did last year, guess what? It's going to be back to El Quadin Muhammad. It's going to be back to Mitchell Agood. It's going to be back to, those types of players, because Joey Bosa and Marcus Davenport wouldn't be holding up. I keep saying Joey Bosa, no intentions or no indications that he will be coming here. However, it is what it is. But that's it. That's all I have to really say about Marcus Davenport being signed here. It is what it is. Brad's going to do what he's going to do with these injured players. You already know he has an affinity for injured players based off of his own story. And if you don't know his own story, you can look it up or hit me up. Let me know that you don't know it, and I'll tell you. And I'll open your eyes as to why Brad Holmes has a soft spot for these injured players. But once again, Motor City Cats, back at it. Came to give you stats, not static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And if you are one of those people, because I know they're out there, I know there are some of them out there that really, really believe in the health of Marcus Davenport, just stop yourself, because you're setting yourself up for failure. And if you really believe it, I just have this to say to you.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you? Look at me, boy. Don't you smoke crack?
And we are out. Peace. What up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P here. Listen, if you want to continue keeping your Lions news pragmatic, if you want to keep getting the stats and not none of that static, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share and let everybody know what's going on around here. And turn on your notifications, because how else would you know that we're up in here keeping your Lions news pragmatic? Appreciate you once again, and we are out. Peace.